Hey writer friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Holly. I'm a writer aspiring to be a published author. And in today's video, I will be doing the writing mistakes tag. So this tag was created by the lovelies Emily Bourne, Emily Lunatic Writing a Book, and Bethany Atazada, and I was tagged by Emily to do this. Through my cringeworthy answers and all the mistakes that I made, I will be talking about my very first manuscript that I wrote, which is Ranakori Realm. So question number 1 is the mistake I made while outlining. So my outline for Ranakori Realm was very, very messy. It was in like paragraph or like story format, which is okay, I guess, but it didn't follow any sort of story structure at all. So now I use the 3-act structure and the 27 beat sheet. And with Ranakori Realm, I just was like, this is what I want to happen in the story, and then this will happen, and this will happen. So at least I did do some sort of outlining, but it just wasn't very organized. So the pacing was off, and it just like threw off all the arcs and everything, and just there kind of made some plot holes in there because I just didn't really have everything in one place all organized and nice. The other big no-no was that I definitely did not do enough world building and character development beforehand. So I just kind of went in like, this is my character, this is how old they are, this is what they look like. All right, now you're in this world. And like, I didn't have any background to their novels, so I really kind of was more of a pantser. Question number 2, the mistake I made during my first draft. Oh boy. This is very cringy, but that very, very, very first draft lacked description immensely. It did not have the 5 senses. I think I just had people's, hearts racing and their eyes were always doing things. But my talking head syndrome was on fleek because like there could be pages upon pages of just dialogue, and it's like, what are the characters doing? They're not interacting with the environment at all. What does the environment even look like? Yeah, didn't have that. Question number 3, the mistake I made while revising and editing. So for me, it was not knowing the difference between all the different edits that there are to go through grammar and punctuation and all of that. I actually was pretty bad. Like I didn't have the right like dialogue. I think I like ended like dialogue on periods and then said, she said instead of a comma. Like my grammar was just really bad. And then I just didn't know about developmental edits versus line by lines. Thankfully, I kind of went into that already when I started editing that first draft, where I kind of went through like bigger picture stuff, but I was kind of doing like line by line edits in a way, which was completely wasteful because I just ended up scrapping like tons of scenes that were unnecessary and combining characters, into one that made more sense. So editing and revising that first draft was definitely a learning process for me. Question number 4, the mistakes I made with time management. So I know I have mentioned this before, but I started writing Ranakori Realm back in 2007, I think. 2006 or 7, and once I started physical therapy school and started working, I barely wrote. Like that totally went on the back burner for me, and I was maybe writing a chapter a year, so my time management was non-existent because it just wasn't a priority. But once I started writing, then my issues with time management was definitely like procrastination. So letting chores and Netflix and TV and hanging out with friends and family, just letting everything in life come before my writing. Then when I sat down to write, I was too tired. I had no energy either emotionally or physically, and I would just PTFO. Note to self, never write on a lazy boy couch. You will pass out. Question number 5, my biggest newbie mistake. Definitely not knowing what I was getting myself into. I'm just kidding, but seriously guys, like, man, this life that I got myself in, what did I do? But honestly, it was just being so green and being daunted by being such a newbie that like I was just overwhelmed with all the slew of information that I was learning and researching. So I was like, query letter? What the heck is that? editing, I have to do that? Like, I just didn't know anything. I was just so new. But I let that get to my head, and I let that like stop me from writing some days, and because I was so overwhelmed and scared to keep going. But now I know better. I know not to stop. And lastly, question number 6. Biggest mistake I see other writers make. So really for me, it's seeing people not studying the craft of writing. So some people think that just by writing and writing you will improve, and by reading you will improve your writing, which those are ways to improve your writing, but really you need to improve your craft. So you need to read writing craft books. You need to consume social media, whether that's a vlog or a blog post or a podcast, attending a writer's workshop or a conference. There are so many ways that both do and don't cost money for you to improve your craft. No one is above learning, and even successfully published authors are still working on improving their prose or weak points that they know that they have in their writing. So make sure that you study so that you can succeed and pass that test, aka the publisher test. All right, you guys, so that's it for this video. This was such a fun tag, so thank you, Emily, for tagging me. I'm gonna tag a couple people, which I will link down below, but they will include Maverick Moses, Mandi Lynn, and Alex over at ThePatchworkNerd. So I'm sorry if you guys have already been tagged, but I didn't see videos from you guys, so my extra video will motivate you to do this tag. Please leave a comment down below with any newbie mistakes you made while writing your first draft. Please give this video a thumbs up to support my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! And lastly, I was gonna say question number 6. Wait, I have this paper in my hand. Question number... And lastly, question number 6. Wait, I gotta get my paper. I gotta fix this. Oh.